Now folks, welcome to bettingnews.boilsports.com. Finally, the Premier League season is about to start, and it's no surprise to see the top three teams in the betting are the sides that fulfilled the top three places last year. Man United and Chelsea played out an enthralling 2-2 draw in the Community Shield final. Of course, Chelsea went on to win it on penalties. United are the favourites at 2-1. You can back Chelsea at 12-5, and you can back Liverpool at 11-4. It's 8-1 Arsenal, and then it's any price the rest. Although Manchester City at 12-1 might interest a couple of people with their big spending new owners. But let's talk about the league title. United, they're the champions. They're the ones who everyone has to beat. But they've lost 50 goals plus with Ronaldo and Tevez, both having left the club this summer. Who have they replaced them with? Michael Owen on a free transfer. If he stays fit, he will score goals. And Valencia from Wigan, not a proven goal scorer, but a very hard worker. Chelsea, they've held on to John Terry, a massive boost for Carlo Ancelotti. He's already won one competition. Even Jose Mourinho couldn't do that in his first game in charge. They've also kept the services of Didier Drogba, the likes of Joe Cole coming back, injured all last year, Malouda. They've got Anelka, they've got Ballack, they've got Essien, they've got a seriously strong squad. And Liverpool, so close last year, losing Alonso. The player who they've replaced him with, Aquilani, won't be fit until October. So there's big question marks there about Liverpool. How are they going to actually cope without the services of Xabi Alonso? For me, I really like the look of Chelsea this year. I think their squad is so strong they can cover every single position with a different player. Chelsea for me at 12-5. Now, what about the relegation fight? And there's already sides up there that people think are a certainty to go down. Burnley, no surprise to see that they are the favourites at 8-13 to be relegated. But just bear one thing in mind. When they played the top sides in the cup competitions last year, they've beaten Premier League opposition in both competitions. So I wouldn't rule them out just yet. And Owen Coyle plays a lovely style of football. It didn't work for West Brom last year, but it may just work for Burnley this year. But they're the favourites to go down at 8-13, following close behind are Hull, who barely stayed up last year. They're at 8-11. I think Hull will go down this season. Next up, even money, Birmingham. They've bought a lot of players unproven in the Premier League. It's a big test for Alex McLeish. The pressure's going to be on right from the start. Wolverhampton Wanderers 13-10. Mick McCarthy has splashed big on Kevin Doyle, and he'll be praying that he can stay fit, the Irish striker, and his goals hopefully can keep Wolves in the Premier League. But my own fancy, and I think it's a great bet, is Wigan at 7-2 to be relegated. They've lost Steve Bruce. Roberto Martinez has come in. He hasn't really signed any big name players whatsoever. He's going for lower league players, bringing them up to Premier League. It's a big risk. Young McCarthy, the young Irish sensation signed from Hamilton Academicals from Scotland. He's only an 18-year-old kid. A lot of weight seems to be already being put on his shoulders, but he's really one for the future. So for me, I really do fancy Wigan to be relegated at 7-2. I think Wolves are going to struggle. It's between them and Birmingham, because I do fancy Hull also to go down this season. Now, the top goal scorer is always a fascinating market, and many people like to have a bet on this because it offers a real value bet for the entire season. The favourite, Fernando Torres. What a start he's had to his Liverpool career. He's been in the Premier League for 2 seasons, and bar injuries, he probably would have been top goal scorer on both occasions. He's the 7-2 clear favourite. Didier Drogba for Chelsea, 15-2. Then you've got last year's winner, Nicolas Anelka, at 10-1. Surely he's got to be an each way bet to nothing. It's a quarter the odds the first 4 places, so it's 5-2 that he finishes in the first 4 of the top goal scorer. I'd be very surprised if he didn't do that. Then we've got Michael Owen at 11-1. The big question mark about Michael Owen is how many Premier League games will he actually play for Manchester United? That's what you've got to kind of work out when you're placing a bet on this one. Wayne Rooney in there at 12-1. Rooney is going to be played more as a central striker this year, and I'm sure that's going to be to his liking. He was in a rich frame of form last year when he scored 7 goals, I think, in 8 games. That's the type of figures he's going to need again if he's to challenge up the top of the goal scoring charts. Robin van Persie, 16-1 for Arsenal. Arsenal, for me, have lost Adebayor, of course. He's gone to City. He's an 18-1 shot if you like Adebayor. But I think Van Persie, again, must stay injury free. We all know about his talent. He's a fantastic player, a beautiful left foot, can score from anywhere. If he stays fit, he would be my each way selection to finish in the top 4. Now, a very interesting betting market is betting without the big 4. No surprise to see who the favourites are here. Manchester City, they're the ones who've spent the most in the Premier League in the off-season. They're available at 11 to 10. It's a bit of a breakdown to Tottenham Hotspur at 15 to 4, almost 4 to 1. When you look at their striking options, they've got the likes of Robbie Keane, Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe and Roman Pavlyuchenko. A lot of firing options on hand for Harry Redknapp. The big question all Spurs fans will want to know is who's going to be the first choice. Will it be Crouch and Defoe like he did at Pompey? Or will he play Robbie Keane with Defoe or Robbie Keane with Crouch? Or will Pavlyuchenko upset everybody and him get a start? Difficult decisions to make, but I'm sure Harry Redknapp is glad he has 4 players of that calibre. Next in the bracket are Everton at 9 to 2. They're trying to resist the temptations of selling Joleon Lescott to Manchester City, and I think if they do that, they have a real chance here of finishing once again 5th in the league. A lot of credit has to be given to David Moyes. Doesn't have a big budget, but always has Everton right up there doing the best that they possibly can be. They got to an FA Cup final last year, probably scored too early and went on and got beaten by Chelsea. But Everton are very solid. Aston Villa, they flew in the first part of last year, but their squad just wasn't big enough to maintain a serious challenge. They're at 6 to 1 without the big 4. I don't think Villa will do it this year. I think Gareth Barry is a massive loss. They're after getting a fantastic young player in Delph from Leeds United. Keep an eye on him in the coming years. He will be an England international in my eyes. But I'm going to go with Everton for a bit of value. And the reason being, the players know exactly what David Moyes wants. They always overachieve, even past some of their talents. And the big key for me is if they can keep a hold of Joleon Lescott. Everton, without the big 4 at 9 to 2, represents a bet.